Today I'm sampling Family Mart ramen. Family Mart is one of Japan's big three convenience stores, and I've got three ramen styles in front of me here. One is a soupless, spicy ramen with a fish accent. I've also got a savory miso ramen. And last but not least, I'm gonna be having a pork bone and soy sauce based ramen that's a little bit on the heavier side. I'm Frank from 5am Ramen, and for those of you tuning in for the first time, I was born and raised in Tokyo, Japan, and I'm a ramen fanatic. I love ramen. So Family Mart is one of the big three Japanese convenience stores. So we've got 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and also Lawson. If you didn't already, feel free to check out my 7-Eleven ramen video. But today is all about Family Mart ramen. Let's see how they perform versus 7-Eleven. I've got three very different styles in front of me here, and I'm gonna be starting with the soupless ramen. Let's dive in. So this one is Karakuchi Gyokai Maze Soba, which is basically spicy, fish-based maze soba. I'm expecting some spice and also a fish undercurrent. What you want to do is give it a thorough mix. So the roots of this dish, abura soba or maze soba, soupless ramen, can basically be traced to two Tokyo ramen shops, Shinshintei and also Sanko. I'm gonna do a ramen history video on soupless ramen in the future, so stay tuned for that. You know, I thought I'd be starting light in a way because there's not soup, but at the same time, soupless ramen is really heavy because the noodles are really big, as you can see here. It's like udon level thickness. That fishiness colliding with that spice, this is really tasty. You've got some green and white negi there, also bamboo shoot, and a lovely chashu pork. Let's see what that pork tastes like. The chashu pork is of good quality. Got this maze soba or soupless ramen kind of creaminess, bringing everything together, but also that fish accent kind of controlling the bowl as well. And just enough spice to give it a welcome kick. That wakame seaweed also provides a nice reminder of the sea. Excellent start, now let's have their miso ramen. So just like soupless ramen, miso ramen also started in the 1950s, and that can be traced back to a ramen restaurant called Aji no Sanpei. All right, starting with the soup here. This is good. I can see they're kind of going in a similar direction as 7-Eleven did, kind of fatty consistency that you should have in Sapporo miso ramen. But at the same time, this is a little bit on the sweeter side. One thing that's giving the sweetness is there's a fair amount of cabbage here and also carrots. That's where the sweetness is coming from. As soon as you open up the lid, the miso flavor, it's like, I'm here. Just that nice miso smell that comes out. So Sapporo miso ramen noodles can get on the thicker side. Normally they're always wavy. These are a little bit thinner and definitely thinner compared to the soupless ramen. Excellent chashu pork. That was much thinner than the abura soba or the soupless ramen's chashu pork. I like this one, but it's a little bit too sweet for my taste. That's just a personal preference. I don't like my ramen that sweet. I know I've harped on about this many times before. However, in terms of doing miso ramen justice, I think they did a fine job. You've got minced pork giving a nice meatiness to the broth on top of that pork lard that they use. You've also got that miso shining through and some nice crunch coming from the bean sprouts, the green negi. I think the highlight for me here was definitely that chashu. That was really soft, melt in your mouth, just tasted wonderful. So I have to complete the hat trick with that last ramen, saving the heaviest for last, which is that soy sauce and pork bone ramen. So this one is an Ieke style ramen, house style. It has nothing to do with a house, but I'll go over that in another ramen history video. Basically, this style started at a ramen restaurant called Yoshimuraya. And what they wanted to do is create that creaminess that you get from a pork bone or tonkotsu base and combine that with a little bit more soy sauce, hence the kind of brown latte-like color. Now this ramen style was super popular with factory workers and truck drivers nearby because of its heaviness. Immediately, as soon as I took the lid off, you could just smell that pork bone kind of funk. And I'm expecting a heavy broth here. Oh yeah, that's on the heavier side. Oh man, that soup is heavy. That's very good as an Ieke style, let's say convenience store ramen. So Ieke ramen noodles are on the thicker side and they're straight, but not quite as thick as the abura soba or the soupless ramen. Now this Ieke style is a ramen style that I actually don't eat that much. I maybe eat it about, I don't know, a couple times a year. It's nice with the noodles, just pulling in all that greasiness from the pork bones. You also have kikurage or wood ear mushrooms. This isn't always a topping in this style of ramen, but you do get spinach a lot. And it's very common for this ramen to be topped off with seaweed, as you saw. I'm gonna wrap one of the seaweed around the noodles just to get a little taste of the sea here and maybe douse some of that creaminess. Man, that is heavy. When I have my multiple bowl ramen days, one of these sometimes will just, if I have it early, it's harder to eat ramen immediately after, or if I have it late, that's probably the end of the day for me. Now, of course, we can't forget about the chashu. Pork in, pork out. That's good chashu. I'm happy, but I'm feeling so much heavier right now after this one. So between the three, which did you prefer? First, we had the soupless ramen with a bit of spice and also a fish base with thick noodles. Secondly, we had the on the sweeter side, miso ramen. And last but not least, we had the house style or ieke, creamy rich pork bone base with soy sauce. Let me know in the comments below. Personally, this is how I would rank them, and this is just on personal taste. I would put the ieke ramen just because it's something that I don't really eat that much. I don't dislike it, it's just not one of my favorite ramen styles. If you're all about that pork bone creaminess that you get from tonkotsu ramen, combine that with soy sauce, this could be your jam. Now, number two, I would put the miso ramen. It was a delicious miso ramen, but personally, a little bit too much on the sweeter side for me. I would put the soupless ramen at number one. Those noodles were amazing, nice and thick, mopping up that delicious soy sauce and fish-based oil, just creamy enough, just enough spice, and just enough accent from the fish. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. In the next convenience store ramen video, I'm gonna be going back to 7-Eleven. They have some new releases, and I'm very excited to try them. If that sounds good, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. This is Frank from 5am Ramen, reminding you that Tokyo is the only place where you can get terrific ramen at 5 a.m., including what you get at Family Mart. Thank you for watching. Oh my goodness, look at that.